Alfred Benedetti came to Quincy in 1903 at the age of 9 and lived a full and contributory life in our city until his death in 1998. And whereas Al worked diligently throughout his lifetime, 56 years in the ship design field, 47 of those years at the Fore River Shipyard, and whereas Al's energetic civic activism, interest, and advocacy spanned a wide spectrum of time and generations, and whereas Al's detailed and accurate historical recollections contributed to the city's archives of shipbuilding, aviation, geographics, and more, and whereas Al was one of the original and oldest senior Olympians competing in bocce and other events into his 103rd year. Can you imagine that? 103 years active in that sport. Whereas the City of Quincy and Beechwood Community Life Center take pleasure in hosting an evening to remember Alfred Benedetti on the occasion of his birth, August 11, 1893. Therefore, I, James A. Sheets, Mayor of the City of Quincy, do hereby proclaim August 11, 1998 as a special day of remembrance in honor and memory of Alfred Benedetti, elder activist, historian, and stalwart friend, and it's signed by the Honorable James A. Sheets, Mayor of Quincy.
The remarkable thing about Al is that he never was old. You know, his mind was sharp as a tack. He was interested in life, and the letters he sent the newspapers showed us his continuing interest in the concerns of the community. And I liked the mischievous twinkle in his eye. One of Al's unique marks was his handwriting. All of you who have seen it know how distinctive it was. Precise little characters marching across the page, going somewhere in perfect order. And that was not done with any shaky old hand. He knew what he wanted to say and how he wanted to say it, and he intended to be heard from on whatever issue concerned him at the time. No, Al never did grow old. He was an old-fashioned gentleman of the old school, and there aren't many of us left. He was always so polite and gentle, always interested in you, his voice always soft. There are not too many like that around.
On behalf of the Quincy Historical Society, I'm very pleased to express our deep appreciation for Al Benedetti, his efforts to preserve vital parts of Quincy's history for the future generations. Alfred Benedetti's lifetime saw nearly all of Quincy's 20th century history. He was himself a part of some of the most important aspects of that history. He is, first of all, part of that generation that really helped shape the Quincy of today. Really made us a strong, vital, multicultural, and multi-ethnic city, and I think he is an excellent representative of the great diversity that the city has. He is even more importantly personally involved with two of the industries that did the most to shape life in Quincy during more than half of this century. The granite industry, his family are part of a great tradition of stone cutting in Quincy, and of course the Fore River Shipyard. Among the things that he gave us here are actual tools, some detailed and expertly rendered sketches of other tools, and beautiful, beautiful design sketches for carvings. I'm particularly amazed, and this goes to Don Strong's point about Mr. Benedetti's handwriting, I'm particularly impressed by a set of sketches that Mr. Benedetti did on how granite cutting tools were made. They're drawn in great detail, and they have an absolutely sure hand. And the date down at the bottom of the corner of those pages is 1986. In other words, when he was well into his 90s, and many years after he had actually seen his last chance of seeing the actual process.
I cannot begin to tell you what Al Benedetti meant to the thousands of senior citizens living here in Quincy. He was an inspiration to all. He not only inspired us, he was also our catalyst. He showed us how and what we could accomplish if we set our minds to doing it. He showed his many physical capabilities as a champion each year, as a winner in the annual City of Quincy Senior Olympics. He not only lit the torch at the annual opening ceremony, but he also fired us up as seniors to participate in many of these events. I'll move it on out to start the parade was given. I felt a lump in my throat. What a thrill it was to hear the cheers all along the parade for Al, Papa Benedetti. He was applauded all along the way. At the end of the parade, with tears in his eyes, he shook my hand and said, how happy he was to be in the parade, and so honored. Yes, I will always remember Al Benedetti in many ways.